And welcome back to Empire Total War with the 1680 Colonialism mod. Last time around, we secured Cuba, and we also got ourselves some tea by taking control of Goa in India. Since then, I have gone ahead and repaired, or are setting up to repair the port. I'm also repairing the governor's palace, and I'm building a fort. Now, the reason for that is, well, you don't have to guess why. There's quite a build-up of Indian troops right here. Now, if we take a look at India right now, they are only at war with the pirates. That means they've got a lot of forces which are idle. Their power is terrifying. It's their home region. I have only this one army here. Now, I do figure that my pikemen in Pike Wall will do very well against Indian troops. However, if there's 3 full stacks of them just keep running into me, then eventually they'll wear me down. And any hope of resupply will be quite far, far away, as the only other substantial force I have is currently locked down saving Portugal once again. And then we have come to what is today's battle, which is the new model army, which has almost all new troops. The only old ones are the Pistoliers, and the bodyguard is technically the same old style bodyguard. So if we remember from last time, the Spanish was set up at Cordova. They had 1 unit, I believe, as like a scouting unit in this Alentio farmland. Let's raid that. Also, yeah, an interesting thing. One of my gentlemen researching technology at Oxford died, and so immediately upon his death, in the end turn, a new gentleman spawned. Where did he spawn? He spawned in Lisbon, Portugal. John Shore, factory master. So he gains industrial technology. He's 77 years old. Jeez, I just noticed that. He's 77 years old. We'll see about shipping him home. But yeah, it's a bit odd. I mean, this guy isn't long for the world either. With all of that said, let's go ahead and fight the Spanish. I might have to go, it's kind of like that, oh, how many times do I have to teach you, old man? Damn you, Spain, how many times do I have to cut you to pieces before you realize that I'm not the one you want to mess with? Thing is, though, after this, peace with Spain should be attainable. I have no more real gains I want to make from them. I don't really want to go into South America right now. Although capturing New Spain in Mexico would be quite good, because it's a very profitable province that they make a lot of money out of. They've got silver and gold mines, and I think they make almost as much as their capital. So that would be quite the boon to take that, but right now I don't want to allocate resources to that. We're looking at India right now, and hopefully this will be the last time I have to save Portugal, but I doubt it. Somehow we need to make sure that Portugal stays alive, but I don't really know how I'm going to achieve that. With all of that said, anyways, let's go ahead and cut down this Spanish force. And here we have the new model army and a new sort of tactic that we're going to test out. A Tercio-esque style formation, but not really, but it's pike and shot formation. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the units. Not the best light. Seems to be rather late in the day when this battle is actually drawn out, so you can't really tell that well on the units. in terms of how they look. It would have been I guess I could have maybe during the battle they will actually turn towards the sun and we'll go and get all these shadows on them. But these are the new pikemen, the Holland regiment. Then in between those regiments we have the musketeer late, and they look like this, and they even got bayonets. And then behind the musketeers we've got 4 units of grenadiers in 2 different types of regiments. So we got the Coldstream Guards, we've got 2 of those grenadiers backing it up, and on the left side we've got the Earl of Bath's grenadier regiments. So we got 2 of those. And then we have the new howitzers being deployed here. They've got an extra unit, the 15th Regiment, ready to back them up. The general right there. We got pistoliers in the back, ready to be sent wherever they are needed. And Bob's your uncle. Let's go ahead and start. And we're gonna start about moving onto the field with a formation with a slight angle like that. Right now the howitzers don't reach the enemy, and it doesn't really change if I use explosive or round shot. I imagine round shot is a little bit more accurate. We're gonna see if these guys have time to fire just before the units pass by. Took out quite a lot of them. The Spanish got a lot of cavalry in this army, so it's kind of it's not a great formation to use against such a mobile enemy. He is going to try and flank us through the woods. I'm gonna send my pistoliers to deal with him, so that he does not disturb our formation. Our formation is, I think, pretty strong, given that the enemy is most likely going to attack us head on. I don't... Normally, such rigid formation usually falls apart when the enemy moves to attack from the flank. Oh, they are actually going to charge straight into the pikes. And they're going to ruin my formation. Now, they actually took surprisingly many men with them in that charge. 18, or no, 12, I believe. More than I thought. But in the long run, they probably would have done a lot better if they dismounted in the forest. And instead, if they were sitting there shooting at us. I think we're actually going to focus the howitzer shot on the cavalry. Now we got so many units coming so close that it's time to move into pike squares. I'm not too concerned about the enemy's infantry. So that's why I'm focusing. Okay, there's going to be a cavalry fight over here. Let's try not to shoot our own men. This is actually quite bad because I wasn't able to get my shots off, so the 6th Pistoliers might very well be destroyed. I'm gonna leave my 3rd unit out. I'm gonna sit here, shoot the enemy, and hopefully that will work out. On this side, I'm banking that my howitzers will destroy them. That plus the fact that this is the perfect way of how I wanted the formation to work. The enemy's cavalry charged, they snagged onto the pikes rather than the musketeers, and so the musketeers were able to continue to fire as the enemy attacked. Now as the okay, this unit's not doing too well. I'll see if I can't withdraw it. The enemy's pistoliers are hounding my units. Now is the time when we're gonna utilize the grenadiers. So the grenadiers gonna move in. It's gonna take their positions, and they're gonna throw grenades into the pike formations, make sure that we break them a lot easier than before. The enemy cavalry is charging our pike formation, so we don't want to continue to fire on them. Instead, I think we want to fire over here instead. My pistoliers are not doing too well. Grenades! Here goes the grenades. Killed quite a lot of Spanish pikemen. But I think they want another hit. This unit wants another hit, and this unit wants another hit, and the rifle or the musket men needs to pull back. Now the enemy is enveloping this one, so the fact that my pistoliers didn't win this fight is quite bad. Thing is, I'm pretty sure we're going to win the infantry fights. My grenadiers plus the impregnable pike formations. Their general just charged in. Perfect timing as I was just throwing my grenades. And they're running. Now we're gonna move. Ooh, what happened there? Probably, the howitzers are probably the culprit there. Ooh, this formation is actually breaking apart. Yeah, the howitzers firing into our own formation. Now our cavalry is losing, so I can afford to shoot at them. We're moving over grenadiers to take part in the battle over here. This pike formation is falling apart, so I do have this extra unit to throw in. Where are you going? Are you chasing the enemy? Looks like all those guys are dead. Reorganize these men to envelop and shoot down the enemy. The smaller grenadier unit will fall back. We'll reorganize all the troops over here. Bloody howitzers! I probably destroyed shot more of my own men than that of the enemy. But now I'm getting my gunners into position, and even though we took quite a bit of losses, we are definitely winning this. So the heavy cuirassiers are being taken down by the grenadiers. They held the line and they pushed fire into the enemy. And this Holland regiment stood. They withstood the Spanish attacks, and they're now retreating. Only one unit remains, the enemy bodyguard. So unfortunately there's a mismanage of my howitzers, meant that I shot down a lot of my own in that region. And even though it's a rather cool formation, the problems with it becomes quite apparent when the enemy is able to flank like that, because with the superior amount of cavalry they had. Now one of their unit is actually just running away, and I also just noted that I forgot to set the timer down. I imagine I did a naval battle in between the episodes, and I forgot to turn up the timer. We're gonna march after the general, because the general is just running away at this point. I'm gonna send the entire army to chase him down. Howitzers, hold fire. By the looks of it though, we can see that it's still mostly the pikes that slaughtered the enemy. These guys have 3 chevrons. They probably would have gained more if they weren't outflanked by the enemy. So that's really the problem with a formation that isn't that mobile. But, yeah. What difference... I mean, what I could do is, instead of making one long line, you could have... you could have smaller lines. But the thing is, most likely the enemy... Where is he going? Okay, he went all the way almost to the corner. And the thing is, since I've got... was 10 minutes. Let's run, everyone. Try to chase him down. Pretty sure we'll be able to catch up to him, but still. So if we take a look at where the bodies are lying, I mean, they didn't go well in the forest. The enemy got the upper hand there. They were able to get the shots off. My men held for quite a while though, so that was good. And the enemy took heavy casualties as well, but they had so much more cavalry to just send in. And then once my cavalry is gone, the flank kind of collapsed here, and that almost killed this regiment. I lost almost everyone, and then I shot down a lot of my own men. But when we look over here, it went really well with the musketmen still being able to shoot the enemy in the flank, same with the cavalry, and then adding on the grenadiers, we were able to quite quickly reduce the numbers of the enemy pikemen and send them away. Let's see, my general is the first one to get onto the scene. Let's speed this up. We'll get him on the high hill. Not the high hill, but the high little area here. Right, and then have the pikemen follow. But I think it's a good combination. Just need to be a little bit careful, because the howitzers are very inaccurate and they like to shoot our own men. And then, you know, think about making the formation a little bit more flexible. I think what I should have done is, maybe I should have done more of a noob square type formation, just because the enemy had so much cavalry. So I should just have deployed in a big kind of square and made my formation around that, in which case the enemy wouldn't have been able to have a flank. They would have been able to attack like the corners a lot with their units shooting up the corners. But I think that even with that, oh, they were hiding a pike unit. A small pike unit of the king's pikemen. They still got 6 minutes to try and weather the storm. Look at that very fancy unit with the Spanish crest on their chest. Oh, and they're facing the sun as well. That's great, because then we can take a better look at the unit. I can understand that they are running, but at the same time, just stand and fight. It's all over. We're within range. And I think even some bayonet charges here from my men will probably send them off. Okay, they're already routing. King's pikemen are running away. We're gonna hold this one, tell that one not to fire, and instead see if we can go and get it close enough to shoot at the enemy general instead. They're down to 13 men in the general's bodyguard. And they're routing. And victory is ours. Bye bye, Spain. Don't come back too soon. I don't want to have to liberate Portugal once more. Right. With that, we've won. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the statistic actually says about the battle. Here we have the results of the battle. So, luckily for me, all the Pistolet units survived, although they were heavily maimed, down to 13 men for 2 units and 25 for another. Then of course we lost a lot out of one of the Bath regiments, half of the unit, due to friendly fire. We lost a bit more than 100 men due to friendly fire, and that is counting about 10% of all casualties we suffered. So we deployed 3,400 men, or let's say 3,500, and we lost almost 1,000. The enemy deployed about 2,400 and losing 1,800, leaving 500 men still. But that's a lot due to the fact that my Pistoliers were gone. And I thought we'd actually get... It's quite even spread. I thought we'd get higher kills among some of the pike units, but we can see the pike units are at the top. One of the things though is this flintlock musket got 149, so that's equal to at least the lowest scoring pike unit. So there's been a little bit of a switch towards the musketeers. I also think the musketeers will probably kind of hold their own against cavalry, but that is to be seen. Anyways, a good showcase. And Spain retreats. And I'll pursue. The question is, if I out-resolve, will they allocate all the casualties to the Pistoliers and destroy them? Which would be kind of unnecessary. We'll out-resolve just in case. Or out-to-save, I mean. No, they, it was not, it was equal throughout the army. 190 men lost, 229 enemies lost. Meant the destruction of the Spanish army. And we are in control. Very good. Strength gained for the newly recruited general, Byron Corsons. And with that, I think we're going to end the video. No, you know what? Let's end turn and see what happens. And then we'll end. No surprise, we got Workers' Riot in Portugal. We've got a nation destroyed, so the Ottomans took back Greece, destroying the Cossack Hetman. Trains gained from Townsend, and Stupid Nephew for Brian Corsons. Not entirely sure how he acquired that in his Spanish campaign, but yeah. New town up in New France. Crafts Workshop. Another new Fort Duquesne in the Algonquin territory. That's also a crafts workshop. And then we have Cotton Warehouse in Lafayetteville and a church on Ireland. We're turning these heathens around. And then also I saw that there's quite an interesting thing happen here. So the Spanish Navy attacked our port and took control of it on this island right here. And then the pirates came and sieged the port, or laid it under blockade, which is really interesting. Also, one thing that I haven't really figured out why, but if we look at all the trade that is coming out of all my Caribbean islands, and also part of the southern states, so New Orleans, or Louisiana, Florida, and Georgia, all those trade routes generate zero trade for some reason. I don't know what. No one's blockading that trade, but for some reason it's not getting through. It's not getting through here. So I'm not entirely sure why it's blocked, but it is. We don't like it, but seemingly there's not a lot I can do about it. Anyways, with all of that said, I think we're gonna end it right here. Next up, I'm not entirely sure what I'll do. I think we'll have to leave. I mean, Portugal seems to be a done deal that it's going to fall to the Spanish. So maybe we'll just leave them to that. I saw that there was an Indian army that boarded a ship over here and sailed away. So I'm not entirely sure where they're going. Maybe they're going to attack and take one of the pirate islands. I don't know. That would not be nice. I don't want them to spread any further. I also dislike the fact that they've got even more troops now. So they've got 3 full stacks over here and another 2 here. So that means 5 full stacks in this region. I'm also thinking maybe I should send all the priests to the Mysore region, because you can see that they're pretty unhappy, the low populace. So if I increase the religious tension by making them all Protestant, that could, you know, create a lot of difficulty for them, eventually leading to me taking control of them. Now, right now, they are allied with the Indians. Hopefully, that will change. You know what? They're relying on the little portion of Islam, because they're Islamist, so their religion is Islam, and they only got 14%. Most of them are Hindus. There's even a little bit of Buddhism here. So that we need to build up this region, prepare for an Indian onslaught, and then I might take the new model army and see if we can't attack Calcutta and take that out. But we'll see what happens in next episode. One thing that we should do now is actually to see about signing a peace treaty with Spain. And I would actually be perfectly fine, Mariana Victoria I, I would actually be perfectly fine with a white peace treaty with them. How about trade? They agree. So we are now at peace with Spain. Not only that, we are trading with them. So now the only thing I need to worry about is Portugal. But I think they will be fine. What we'll do is we'll help them. Let's build some workshops and repair some stuff, maybe. Maybe that's unnecessary. But we'll evacuate and we'll find another target for that army. Anyways, with all of this said, let's go ahead and end it right here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!